Jessica has given me the opportunity to make this announcement. We are now in the season of being grateful, Thanksgiving. We will then move to the season of giving. And in this season of giving, I believe that there is something that we who are on this watch must give. I am proud to say that on this season of giving, that Santa has something for a very naughty person. It will come before Christmas. The naughty person of whom I speak you know well, probably only too well. And this naughty person deserves the gift of having articles of impeachment filed in the United States House of Representatives before the Christmas break. I pledge to you, I will bring those articles of impeachment to the attention of the Congress of the United States of America before the Christmas break.
On days like this, when we have a huge press gaggle to cover what we're doing here, they show up every single week, leading American citizens into their halls of Congress to talk to their lawmakers and hold them to account, demanding impeachment and removal. Please join me in welcoming Dave Mytych, the Congressional Ops Lead for FLARE.
Thank you for being here. My name is Dave Mytych, and I am the Congressional Outreach Lead for FLARE USA. I have the privilege to speak today on behalf of every volunteer of FLARE, which stands for, as Jessica said, for liberation and resistance everywhere. We are a nonpartisan group of Americans who refuse to look away while our democracy is devolving into an authoritarian state. Our main goal is the removal of President Trump through legal and constitutional means. Since May 1st, our volunteers have held a continuous, peaceful First Amendment vigil outside Union Station. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in the heat, cold, wind, and rain. We've been unlawfully raided by the Trump regime. U.S. Park Police, MPS participated. Our tents dismantled. First Amendment protected expressive materials taken without warrant, without inventory. We were treated like criminals. But we've never left. Our bodies are resistance. We are there back again. FLARE volunteers have spoken to thousands who passed through Union Station and have collected thousands of petitions demanding Congress impeach, convict, and remove the tyrant Donald John Trump from office. We hand deliver these petitions on behalf of constituents almost daily. My fellow volunteers of FLARE have done this because they understand the gravity of the moment. I'm standing here today on behalf of all the volunteers and constituents alike. And today that commitment continues on Capitol Hill. Today, thousands of constituents and members of the Removal Coalition have traveled across the country in record numbers to lobby their members of Congress to take a position of yes on impeachment because they know the danger we face is real. It is a constitutional right protected by the First Amendment for citizens to petition their government for a redress of grievances. That is what we are doing here today. These constituents know that impeachment, conviction, and removal are the constitutional obligations by members of Congress. When a president abuses power or threatens the stability of a nation, Congress cannot simply hope things will improve on their own. Congress must act. I've heard from establishment Democrats and their staffers, such as my Representative Chrissy Houlihan from Pennsylvania, say things like, "Now's not the right time to impeach him." Or, "We have to wait until we win the midterms to get the majority." Or, "We've impeached him twice before and he wasn't convicted in the Senate." The legislative director of Representative Jamie Raskin told me in person, "What do you expect us to do? Impeach him every day?" Maybe. Maybe we just do that. and with Rule 9, Rule IX of the House rules, that actually is an option. But we mostly hear poor excuses of why we shouldn't impeach Trump. Well, I say to you, it's always the right time to honor your oath to defend the Constitution. Right now, only 80 Democrats in the House publicly support impeachment. 80. That's it. How can we expect Republicans to break rank when the majority of Democrats don't even support impeachment? And believe me, there are Republicans that are wanting to disassociate from Trump and MAGA more now than ever. This country needs leaders who are willing to stand up and fight even when the odds are against them. This is what the American people want. They want fighters that hold the line. Democrats, are you listening? Leader Schumer, are you listening? Leader Jeffries, are you listening? So as I stand here today next to the great representative from Texas, Representative Al Green, I am reminded that there are members of Congress who do fight, members who do understand that history is watching. We just need more members like Representative Green who aren't afraid to stand up and say no more. FLARE USA unequivocally demands that members of Congress act now to impeach, convict, and remove Trump from office. Thank you.
As Dave mentioned, that wall of cultish demagoguery that has seemed so loyal in support of this illegal presidency is fracturing. For anybody who has said the time is not right, the time is not right, for God's sakes, if it's not now, when will it ever be? Right, that's right. I just want to emphasize, this might feel like an academic exercise to some, and I want to emphasize how much of an academic exercise it is not. The people that you see standing here, the people that traveled across this country from every state in the union to be with us here today, are literally standing in the breach between this progression towards a more perfect union and freedom that we have been on for 250 years and the demolition of American democracy. We are bringing the solution. I want to make it extremely clear that every single member of Congress in this building behind us that does not support impeachment and removal now is complicit in the demolition of American democracy. This is on you, Congress. Every single thing that Donald J. Trump and his illegal cabinet and cohorts do is on you. Because guess what? The Constitution empowers Congress to remove a tyrannical president. Yes. And this courageous congressman standing behind me, who has become my friend, Representative Al Green, should not be standing alone. It is obscene and ludicrous that he has been the only member of this body to be willing to file and force an article of impeachment up until this time. Where are the rest of you? What are you waiting for? If your capitulation in the shutdown fight did not show you how infuriated the American people are with your spinelessness, what will? Yes. We are looking for heroes. Yeah. We are looking for action. We are looking for leadership, and we are needing it now.
Yes.
Yes. Now, as much as I adore who has become my friend, Representative Al Green, I'm even hard on him. I'm even hard on him because I want him to bring more articles of impeachment. And I feel terrible that I have to put it all on this one man. We are contacting other offices. Where are you? Why are you not responding to the people's demands? But I asked Congressman Green when he came here with us today if he would make a commitment to you. And because he is a man of honor and a man of courage, he has an announcement to make for you today, and I, with great pleasure, welcome my friend, Representative Al Green.
Thank you, Jessica. Would you please give Jessica a big expression of appreciation? That's not the big that I had in mind. Really big. And the constitutional scholar who has been so helpful and still continues to do his job, notwithstanding all of the many other things that he has on his plate. Would you give John a big hand, please? John Bonifaz. And of course, Dave, we appreciate you ever so much for being on watch.
Thank you.
You have been the sentinel that refuses to leave your post. And for this, you deserve an expression of appreciation. Let's hear it for Dave, please. I'm here today because this is my watch. This is my watch. But it's also the watch of all of the people who are here with me. So in truth, this is our watch. Yes. This is our watch. Yes. And on our watch, we refuse to allow the demise of democracy. Yes. Not on our watch. No. On our watch, we refuse to allow liberty and justice for all to become a thing of the past. Not on our watch. Not on our watch. On our watch, we refuse to allow one person to dominate the House, the Senate, and the presidency in the United States of America. Not on our watch. This is our watch. Dr. King reminds us that the truest measure of the person is not where the person stands in times of comfort and convenience, when there are no issues related to democracy and the republic. He reminds us that the truest measure of the person is where do you stand in times of challenge and controversy. In these times of challenge and controversy, we stand for the remedy that can make the difference and maintain the democracy, and that remedy is impeachment. Impeachment. But that's not enough. No. That's not enough. Impeachment we must do. Impeachment is the indictment. So he must be indicted. Impeachment. But then there's a Senate. And the Senate has the opportunity to try the case. It is in the Senate that you get what? Conviction. Conviction. And when the Senate convicts, then the Senate has the opportunity to do what? Remove. Impeach, convict, and remove. That's why we're here today. And we're also here today to let you know that on Saturday, the movement continues. It is a peaceful movement. That's right. It is a peaceful movement. It is the movement that John Lewis would appreciate, that Dr. King would appreciate. Peaceful, nonviolent movement. And it will continue right here in Washington, D.C. So we want all of the people across the length and breadth of the nation, if you can, make your way to this Capitol for 12 noon on Washington, D.C., at which time the movement will continue. Jessica has given me the opportunity to make this announcement. We are now in the season of being grateful, Thanksgiving. We will then move to the season of giving. And in this season of giving, I believe that there is something that we who are on this watch must give. I am proud to say that on this season of giving, that Santa has something for a very naughty person. It will come before Christmas. The naughty person of whom I speak you know well, probably only too well. And this naughty person deserves the gift of having articles of impeachment filed in the United States House of Representatives before the Christmas break. I pledge to you, I will bring those articles of impeachment to the attention of the Congress of the United States of America before the Christmas break. The movement continues. This is not a moment in time. This is a movement for all time. And those who have the courage to stand for liberty and justice for all, you are a part of this movement. You may not know it, but you are. Those who believe that government of the people, by the people, for the people is a necessity in a democracy, you are a part of this movement. So let us not forget that if we are to maintain what has been given to us, we inherited this democracy. And if we are to maintain this democracy, we have to do more than say we believe in these things. We have to participate. This is a participatory democracy. Impeachment requires the hands and the guidance of all of us. So I beg of you, remember 12 o'clock, remember Saturday, remember Washington, D.C., and remember that there will be articles of impeachment filed before the Christmas break. This I pledge, this I will do. God bless you.
Can we get one more round of applause for Representative Al Green? That is right. In less than 48 hours from now, we are calling on the nation. We are calling on the nation to converge peacefully on Washington, D.C. at our nation's capital, at Lincoln Memorial, noon, Saturday, November 22nd, 2025. I said a few minutes ago that Congress, members of Congress, are complicit in this destruction for their inaction. And since we have so many members of the media today here, and I want to thank the members of the media that are with us, I want to thank the anchors and podcasters who have announced our events this weekend and starting today. I want to thank them so much. And to the rest who haven't yet, I say you have an opportunity in the next 48 hours to not yourself be complicit in the destruction of American democracy. Because we, the people here, are giving the country and the world a remedy. And we need you to tell them about it. The First Amendment of the Constitution gives us the right to assemble, to have free speech, to redress our government for grievances. And we are exercising that very First Amendment that gives each and every one of you the right to be here today. We need the media to talk about this between now and Saturday. We need them to put it on blast. We need our friends like Jimmy Kimmel, who I love so much, in Late Night, and the American people that stood out for him when his free speech rights were threatened. We need him to talk about it. We need Stephen Colbert, who has been such a warrior after his contract was insanely pulled to appease this administration, to talk about it. We need the morning shows to talk about it. We need international newspapers to talk about it. We need the whole world to talk about the peaceful convergence that we are having in Remove the Regime on Saturday, November 22nd. So thank you all so much for being here today. We want to open up to you all for questions. Dave, myself, Representative Green, and John are happy to answer any questions. Yes.
Congressman Green, I'm wondering what your reaction is to the recent ruling of the congressional maps in Texas and how you view that could possibly help Democrats in the midterms, which would help secure possibly impeachment.
I think that the Texas court made a proper decision. I believe that the Supreme Court should follow the rules, the ruling of the Texas court. But I also know this: the Supreme Court may not. And if it does not, we still have to proceed. We cannot allow anything to get in the way of impeachment, conviction, and removal. That's what this is about: impeachment, conviction, and removal. I understand why you asked the question, and I can give you greater details after this event. But today, the focus has to remain on impeachment, conviction, and removal. I will gladly talk to you more as soon as we finish.
So the Democrat majority would help secure impeachment?
Well, obviously, a majority is helpful. I'd love to have a majority. But the Constitution does not have a scintilla of a word in it indicating that you have to wait until you have a majority to impeach. It's just not there. So I don't want to give anybody the belief that there is relief in not having a majority. There is no relief. The Constitution is perspicuously clear. If a person commits an impeachable offense, then we have impeachment as the means of removal, especially given that we now have a president who has been given certain immunities that preclude other forms of punishment for his transgressions. Dastardly deeds are being committed on a daily basis. We cannot allow it to continue such that it becomes normalized. We refuse to do it. Impeach, convict, and remove is the remedy because the Supreme Court has given immunity. Yes.
Have you spoken with Democratic leadership about your plans to do it yet?
No, I have not spoken to Democratic leadership. I am a liberated Democrat. Now,
we're looking at Democratic leadership right here.
This does not apply to leadership, what I'm about to say next. I'm unbought, unbossed, and unafraid. A liberated Democrat. The Constitution has no mandate for conferring with leadership, quite frankly, or anybody else. Each member of Congress can bring this privileged resolution. Now, here's what I didn't say earlier that I'll say now. I said I would bring articles of impeachment. I would file them. But I'm going to bring them to a vote. It's not enough to file them and not have a vote on them. Yes. We will bring those articles of impeachment to the floor as a privileged resolution, and there will be a vote on them. And then we let the chips fall where they may. I can tell you how I will vote. I can't speak for anybody else.
Right here.
Thank you. I think Jessica, a couple others mentioned that not supporting this would be an indictment on some other figures of the Democratic Party, Schumer, Jeffries. Representative Green, do you share that perspective?
Here's my perspective. I believe in the Constitution. I believe that what I'm doing is mandated by the Constitution and supported by a movement. I will let others decide for themselves. Let them make their own choice as to how they will conduct themselves. But for me, there is but one option: impeach, convict, and remove.
Right here.
If you had a message for fellow Democrats to kind of have them get in line, what would it be?
The message to all Democrats and all people, but to the people who have the opportunity to vote, I say vote your conscience. Yes. My conscience tells me that now is the time. This is a seminal moment in time. It's going to impact the rest of time. And if we don't take advantage of this seminal moment in time, there was a baby over here just a few moments ago, we will leave, he is posterity. We will not leave posterity the democracy that we inherited. We would do ourselves and posterity a disservice if we don't impeach, convict, and remove. Listen, it's not enough for him to serve out his term. He needs to be impeached, convicted, and removed so that there will not be another Donald Trump to show up without considering the fact that we will take actions to impeach, convict, and remove you from office.
Yeah.
Congressman, again, do you know how many articles you will introduce, and do you know what topics they will focus on? What violations do you want to highlight?
Well, I do have some ideas. I'll be conferring with John and some others. Obviously, Jessica and I confer quite regularly, but I'd rather not introduce them today. Today is a day for us to announce that there is a march on Saturday, that you can join the march, And when we introduce the articles, they'll be presented to all of the press. You'll have an opportunity to peruse, scrutinize, and draw your own conclusions. But know this, they will be introduced and they will be presented and there will be a vote. And by the way, when I say vote, listen, for those who may not know, the vote can be several things. It can be a vote to let's move forward with the impeachment articles, or it can be a vote made by someone to table. I will not vote to table the articles. People who vote to table the articles are voting against impeachment. So I'm not going to vote to table. I'm going to vote to have those articles themselves voted on, up or down, so that we can impeach, convict, and remove by virtue of the House first impeaching, the Senate then following through with the trial, as a result finding the president guilty of impeachable offenses, and thereafter the Senate makes the decision to remove. That's the process. The process should be followed. The president should be removed from office for his dastardly deeds that are unconstitutional in nature and harmful to our nation, harmful to liberty and justice for all, harmful for posterity, because it is this generation, this is our watch. What we leave, others will inherit. We inherited a democracy that is the least we can leave.
Any more questions?
I had a question.
Yeah.
Representative
Yes.
Green, is there a list of those Congress people, Democrats who are not supporting impeachment? I thought I heard that 80 are supporting it, but is there a way we can find out who?
I'll let Jessica
Sure.
respond.
One of our partners is actually called Citizens Impeachment. Citizensimpeachment.com. Hi, Kira. She flew in literally from Albania to be with us here today. And they keep a tracker on their website of every member of Congress who has voted yay or nay on when the vote was forced by Representative Al Green. And there are only 80, as we've heard today. Only 80. You know, you guys are talking about a majority. We need, Democrats don't have a majority. We don't even have all the Democrats on board, which is so obscene. And I've heard a number of them come out and say, in reference to the forced vote that Representative Green filed a few months back, that just that particular article they weren't on board for. Well, there's nothing stopping any one of those members from filing their own article any day of the week. And I would implore members of the media, next time you have an opportunity to interview a Democratic representative who complains to you and gives you all of the diagnoses of the terrible violations of the Constitution that Donald Trump is committing, why they are not filing their own article of impeachment. So, yes.
So I think it's important for everyone to remember that before Congressman Green introduced his articles of impeachment in June and forced a floor vote, there were only 20 members of Congress on record. Citizens Impeachment has been documenting that. There were only 20 members that were on record before that vote. Congressman Green forces the vote, and 78 of his colleagues join him. And then the next day, Congressman Andre Carson says, I got it wrong, and I'm co-sponsoring Congressman Green's article. So that's why we're at 80. So the question for members of Congress, when this next vote comes up, is where do you stand?
Yep.
Where do you stand? Are you going to stand on the sidelines with respect to this march to tyranny, or are you going to stand with the Constitution and with democracy and with defending our republic? They will have to face that question again with this vote. Thank you.
Do we have any more questions? All right, I'd just like to remind everybody you can find out all the details for Remove the Regime at removetheregime.com. We also have a veterans rally coming up tomorrow at 2 p.m. That's Friday the 21st. Prior to that, we're going to have some in-person training from Kira at Citizens Impeachment and Dave so that folks can take these tools that we are exercising in person in D.C. today home and actively lobby their members of Congress for impeachment. We are going to be relentless, peacefully relentless until this goal is accomplished. So thank you all so much for being here with us today. Again, removetheregime.com. We'll see you at the Lincoln Memorial on Saturday. Thank you.